Hey, welcome back to the channel. Magister Wilbur here. I know this is my second video of the day, and of course I didn't really feel like being on camera, so here I'm going to do this voiceover and talk about the biggest news of the day that came out earlier today, and it's the Microsoft FTC battle, and Microsoft has won. Judge Corley has stated that while it deserves scrutiny, that scrutiny has paid off, and Microsoft has committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with Xbox, and made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Switch, and entered several agreements to, for the first time, bring Activision's content to several cloud gaming services. And we knew this was not really like the big problem with this. Jim Ryan threw it out there of Call of Duty. Yes, it is a big franchise, but this really hasn't been about, Call of Duty. I don't know why they thought this would be the big focus. I don't think exclusives really should be that big of a focus anymore. I know that Microsoft did a little crazy stuff with Starfield, and now it's definitely going to be on Xbox when it might have been only on PlayStation and the Indiana Jones game. But we're moving away from kind of a system of, just exclusive titles for a certain game. And frankly, I haven't really thought about that in a long time in choosing which console I'll use. Now, yes, I am typically a PC gamer, but my console has been Xbox. And there's never been really that, want for a big jump over to the other console. There's some game that I just have to play. And so, to me, this really isn't a big deal, and it was kind of like a red herring, and this is kind of what, honestly, Sony, Google shouldn't have been fighting for. What is actually looking at is cloud gaming and subscription services. This is a big win for Xbox for their subscription service, Xbox Game Pass. This right now is, quite frankly, the best subscription service out there. It has what I believe to be the most games. I already made a video about the cloud gaming aspect, and it works. It actually works. And so adding more titles will make it seem like a better deal. And frankly, I wouldn't doubt if Phil Spencer would try to get Xbox Game Pass on the PlayStation 5. They might actually work with Apple, and that's kind of a thought I've been thinking about making a video for. Apple probably could really use a partnership with Microsoft if they really want people to start thinking about gaming on MacBooks. That's here or there right now. I might look into it, but for reasons explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it would prevail on its claim this particular vertical merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied. And again, looking at specifically the content, this is not about a singular game. It's not about a group of games. It's what the service is going to be. And that's what they're fighting for right now. And I'm getting this information from IGN. And, the FTC spokesperson Douglas Farr stated to IGN that they're disappointed in this outcome, and this merger poses to open competition in cloud gaming subscription services and consoles. They see a threat. And honestly, I don't know why so many of the studios are so far behind in creating their cloud services and creating the subscription. It seems like Microsoft and Xbox were way ahead of this. And even with the Xbox One and Always On, they've been forward thinking with this, and it seems weird that these other companies just did not think this through, and it really seems like they're way behind. And I'm mostly talking about Sony here. I'm talking about Apple here, because Apple's definitely going to be in on it if they're taking gaming seriously. I'm talking about Google. These are people and companies that could really actually be competition, but just are behind Microsoft and Xbox. Of course, Nintendo does its Nintendo thing. they rely on first-party titles, and their bigger threat is emulation. So I don't think they actually care. But, you know, what Phil Spencer had to say about this, he tweeted, "We're grateful to the court for swiftly deciding in our favor. The evidence showed that Activision Blizzard deal is good for the industry." I would definitely argue against that. Any merger is probably not good for any industry, and right now it's definitely an oligopoly when it comes to console gaming. So unless we really see a huge uptick in Steam Deck, ROG Ally, the AO Neos, until we see that, yeah, this is still an oligopoly. There are still few players, even though Xbox put it out there that they lost the console wars. Has there really been a console war? Is it really that bad? Like, I know other YouTubers talk about, you know, the fanboys of one or the other. I just don't feel it. I don't feel it like I used to. And it may be just that I'm an old man, but it really was like a big deal whether you had an Xbox or a PlayStation. It was a big deal whether you went, you know, Nintendo or Sega. It just doesn't feel that way anymore. It really doesn't. And I don't think it will be that part of like a big deal with consoles. What it really is the subscription service, and these mergers, they're not good. Frankly, subscription services are just not good. They typically don't make a lot of profit unless you're the only subscription in town. That's why Netflix succeeded for a long time. And now all these new subscription services like Disney Plus, Hulu, like, they're just not as profitable as what, you know, Netflix used to be. But back to Phil Spencer. And the FTC's claims about console switch-in, multi-game subscription service, and cloud don't affect the realities of the gaming market. Well, not the realities right now, because there is no, you know, other true competitors. Since we announced this deal, our commitment to bringing more games to more people on more devices has only grown. We've signed multiple agreements with Activision Blizzard Games, Xbox first-party games, and Game Pass, all available to more players than they are today. Okay, I assume that's always going to grow. We know the players around the world have been watching this case closely, and I'm proud of our efforts to expand player access and choice throughout this journey. End. Weird. Now, I read that just a little differently, and it kind of switches towards then. I think the players that he's really talking about around the world are the other regulatory agencies, and now that they have FTC approval, these other agencies are going to just fall in line. They're going to fall in line. You know, the North American market, especially in the United States, is way too big. I don't see, you know, Japan stepping up. I don't see the UK continuing on. So I think they're going to just go with it. I don't think they're going to fight it anymore. So that's why this is really a big win. The FTC is showing, hey, we agree with this. And I just don't think this would go through if there was a bunch of gamers in Congress, people who truly played video games. There's a lot of legislation that needs to go into, you know, the video game industry, and it's just not going to be there with no one actually gaming in our legislature. So, you know, President of Microsoft, Brad Smith, is now looking again to the UK, and they have a hearing set for July 28th and will conclude August 4th. This is a big win. So, yeah, I think they're going to win that hearing. And I'm actually shocked that people are looking at cloud gaming, because cloud gaming kind of gets like thrown to the wayside, and yet people don't realize how much players want it. Like, I was doing it on computers. I did it on the phone, and if for some reason we could shore up our cell data delivery, yeah, a lot of people would not be worrying about handhelds because they would be able to play on their phone. All right. So I don't see, you know, Jim Ryan winning any of this anymore. It just doesn't seem like he had a good enough case. I'm surprised Google wasn't more involved, but it is what it is, and from now it appears that Activision Blizzard is a part of Microsoft, and we will see where that goes. There's things I'm worried about. I made a video about how you get Game Pass for free using rewards. That's no longer true. It's no longer an option. Game Pass has already gone up in price. These are things that should be expected to see moving forward, because I don't think Microsoft really cares about the consoles. I really don't. They don't have a mid refresh. They say the mid refresh was the Xbox Series X, and that their primary is the Series S. They want that digital. I think that's very telling that they only focused on the digital, and that's where they're going. So tell me what you think in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. And as always, help me get to 1,000 by hitting the subscribe. And hey, you made it to the end. Thanks for watching. You're an amazing person. We love you over here. Bye.